preference here for this lineup? Is there one you think has a better timing, one you think is easier to play? Where are you at here?
Easier to execute. Probably the one with the big team fight with the Kanka and the wheel. But at the same time, I really like Doom as a hero right now. On the carry, I think it's very, very strong. One of the strongest carries. And whereas if you look at IAP's lineup, I kind of feel like the Conca, Storm, Centaur trio is like, they don't really have like a traditional carry, so they're playing like 3 semi-cores, so they are probably going to be like on the clock. They don't want to go late game against this Doom, Dawnbreaker, Ember core, Trail core. So yeah, they are more on the side of having a clock, whereas I think for the other side on Kopite, they have a better late game lineup. And we see a smoke. They're going to come in, try to get a first blood here.
Yeah, a little invasive move. We can see the...
I mean, lucky for the Conca, he was just... I don't think he knew what was going on. He just kind of was lucky.
I think it's reading the map as well. You can see his allies getting into that Radiant side of the map fairly uncontested. That seems like we will end up runes 2 apiece here.
Yeah, nothing too fancy. I mean, we see the Dawn already starting to block the creeps so that he gets a better wave. He forces the creeps into the tower. And even the Tusk is going to be staying around here. Maybe they are trying to set up for a first blood here on top with 3 heroes. They have a pretty strong level 1 lineup. Oh, actually, no, the A is going to go back. He's going to decide that it's not worth his time. Any interesting facets here? I think everyone has kind of the normal ones. I think with the Ember, you see Chain Yang a lot nowadays.
Yes.
Like trying to play around that instead of the double impact. I think that's probably the newer way of playing Ember nowadays.
Yeah, I agree. The double impact does feel stronger in lane, but I think this is just better for control. You pair it with the 20 talent when you get it,
Yeah.
And the 15. Super annoying, super strong.
You just poke from far range. You never really have to go in here.
No, you don't.
I mean, you kind of have to get some Diablo lockdown, some way to kill him. But bot lane, you see first blood here, Doom. Hey, they find the Moeta here.
Yeah, just they stack up that damage really, and it becomes overwhelming. That is going to be first blood in favor of Kopite, by the way, who were on this Radiant side. InterActive Philippines on the Dire. Just to let y'all know. Oh, they might be able to get a kill in return, actually. Yeah, indeed, the double edge. Looks like this AA, he will come out, though, with a better trade. So some bonus experience here, as he is going to be far too tanky for this Moeta to take on, even with that little HP.
No, that wasn't too bad for the Centaur, because the wave is kind of pushing towards his tower down, nearer to him. So he wouldn't be so bothered by with the death. Some deaths in the lane could be like really, really bad for your game because the wave is not at a position where when you return to the lane you could farm. But deaths like this is not too bad in top lane. 2-man torrent.
Yeah, really nice job there. You can see Carlo trying to chase down the clown, figure that kill out, but just out of range here.
Yeah, this is like a crazy lane, right? The Starbreaker with the Tusk, with the tag team, that's gonna have a lot of potential to just burst you. So he has to be very careful as a ringmaster in this lane.
Yeah, a ton of damage. I think even that Kunkka eventually is going to need to be a little bit careful not to get too out of position. Does have, of course, those powerful disengage tools, but
probably
it's
harder to kill the Kunkka if he has like above half health. If he just makes sure that he's not too low, he shouldn't really die in a combo. And at the same time, they have the whip to kind of cancel the Starbreaker from the Dawn. So as long as they save that spell, he should be fine. But bot lane, they are not fine. Doom is gonna die again.
Yeah, that's Chucky going down here the second time in this lane, and compared to last time, Fiend here on the Centaur, he is very healthy. He's got double bracer already, actually, so he's really starting to tank up.
Yeah, this is a lane where once they get levels on the Centaur and Moeta, you are gonna have to respect the damage output, from their spells. Stun, double edge, and the dead shot. It's a lot of damage if you get caught out in too far in the lane, you're in the middle of the lane, and you don't really have the tower to run back to. You know? So they have to really respect that and just be careful. I mean, the Dawn, on the other hand, I feel like she's going to be A-okay in the top lane against Kanka no matter what. She's going to be able to farm well. And doing well in terms of last hit and mid lane. We see a fight between the brothers. The Storm against the Ember.
And I think the Storm is going to end up winning. He just beats his buddy down. Kind of a little aggressive play there. Just really thinking that Gon there on the Ember thought he could just grab the water rune, but he was wrong. I think he tried with the Sleight of Fist and just didn't quite get it.
Yeah, you see the lane matchup going towards the Storm favor. That's why they overall last pick the Storm here. Because with the static slide facet, it's always very, very easy for you to harass a melee hero and get a better trade. And Ember, they're probably feeling a little bit too much pressure, just wants to get the rune to get his resource back. Nice late shot. Set up the Centaur
nice
Storm.
Dead shot. Yeah, that's so good here.
Easy kill.
Just out of position. That's Sagiri there on the Muerta making a very nice play. And I mean, it's plays like those that has not only net themselves a kill advantage, but a small lead. Here is we're still early in the laning phase, right? Power rune spawning in soon, but this Storm is level 6 far before the Ember. And they're going to go bottom again, actually, here onto the field. Careful here. They're going to be just fine. Just another scary moment as the Ice Shards, nice rotation. That's Carlo coming in from the top lane, TPing to the tower. Snowball's going to connect onto this Muerta. I believe they will lack the damage here, even with that tag team. Nice turn. They needed something, Winter, because as I was saying, I think all three lanes had started to really slide away here from the side of Kopite.
Yeah, that was a much-needed kill. X-Mark.
Top.
Instead of TP, probably not enough for them to kill the Dawn with just two heroes here.
Very tanky here. Double bracer with the boots and the blade of attack. Actually, hold on. That second impalement arts. Ooh, yeah, they're going to get it before she can dive away.
Yeah, they actually have enough damage. But this Ringmaster with the daggers, they're just doing the deeps.
Mid lane. You got both supports trying to contest for the power rune. It's going to be a kill first there onto the Ancient Apparition. But the Storm Spirit, it may have cost him too much. Great lockdown there by Carlo. And even the Amplified Damage rune going the way towards the Ember is going to allow them to pick up that kill. A much needed kill. So really strong rotations now actually out from Kopite here.
Revenge? Can you call that revenge? For the Ember?
You know, it's like when you're getting bullied at school and then you bring more friends the next day. I guess it's still kind of revenge. The power of friendship there working out better. So they do lose the Dawnbreaker up top lane, but they equalize mid here, and I think that kind of pressure is really, really important to make sure that, you know, a
they're going on the Dawn again. Yeah, nice whip. Cancels the Starbreaker. Probably gonna survive this time, you know. Gonna have enough damage. Yeah.
Especially with Carlo
so Wisdom
around there.
Rune's gonna be one apiece, so nothing too fancy going on. No steals.
Steals. And that's good news for all the supports. They're going to keep it pretty close. Be careful up top lane. Snowball's going to be able to dodge the whip. Starbreaker is still interrupted, though.
Well,
nice job. Good placement on the calling, and that's going to be a death onto the Dawnbreaker. Ember is here.
Storm is here
to find an initiation into this fight. We'll actually find the Ringmaster who walks out asking for the high five and sees a Sleight of Fist instead. Careful now, Storm incoming. They did get an X onto the Ember Spear, but they still missed out on the boat. Storm first, able to finish off that Tusk as they turn back now for the Ember. Another Sleight of Chains, not good enough. This Muerta here on a double kill actually has this Pierce the Veil. Silence is out. Whoa, a buyback out from Gon early. Thinks he can turn this. He does actually finish off that Kunkka here. Does he have the damage he needs for the Storm Spirit? Dawnbreaker ulting on in, respawning. It's a double kill for the Ember off the early buyback. Nice play there by Gon.
Yeah, that was actually a very, very good decision there. They killed two cores. I think it's well worth it for the buyback on the Ember. Initially, I was quite skeptical, but then, I realized they already have Solar Guardian. So that was the extra damage they needed to get the kills there. So well played. Well played by Kopite there, realizing they had a chance to turn the table. That was a pretty important moment in the early game.
Exactly. And
so
I wanted to talk about...
basically died twice, right? Back to back? Kind of.
He did, yeah. Because he died mid, just at the 6-minute rune.
You can't cheat
Yeah.
that.
That's important. You need to slow that hero down because you don't really have the best heroes to deal with a storm, you know. Outside Doom, that's the only like big spell that can actually reliably lock down the storm. But you know what they always say, if the storm is good, it's very hard to get your cast point off, you know, on the storm as Doom. Takes a long time.
I mean, especially with like this Kunkka existing in the game, you've got the save, you've got the stampede.
And sometimes you see players. So hang on a
Doom
minute.
action. Hold on. Ember back in the mid lane. Oh, they've doomed the box. So Kunkka will be able to do nothing here. Gets off one last Tidebringer on his way out, but a killing spree suddenly now for Gone the Ember Spirit. So Team Kopite really bouncing back after a rougher early laning stage to make this very competitive.
Yeah, once the lanes broke down, I think they were able to use the rotations from the Doom and the Dawn. Yeah, I guess it's also easier, right, when you have like a global hero and bot lane Centaur. He is on the menu right now. He's very confident.
Storm, break counter initiation, the control onto the Ember, and with the Stampede just to really buff up that damage. A takedown gone. This Tusk will fall next. A great counterplay actually by the side of IAP.
Yep, they didn't have the numbers, you know. IAP had the numbers. A good read. They realized what was happening. They brought heroes down, and that was a dieback for the Ember. So a long time out of the game, you know. He has a minute to do whatever he wants. Just his teammates' moral support. And this tower is going to go down here. Centaur is going to have a very good time. He's building into his pipe, which is very, very crucial here against the AA Ember. So the pipe timing is going to be something to look out for, you know, in this game.
Yeah, I mean, what I was going to say was I was actually shocked that Kopite thought they could take down that Centaur in the first place. I mean, he was already showing Vanguard in the lane versus Tag Team Doom without the Doom. Thank you, boy.
Yeah, they needed either Doom or Solar Guardian to be ready, you know, for that play, you know. Something extra. Definitely overestimated their strength, you know. I think situations like this happen quite often. You win a team fight, right? And then you think, oh, guys, we are strong, you know. Don't be afraid. How can this Centaur stand in front of my tower and farm, you know? And then you have the urge to go on them instead of like thinking rationally that even though you just want to fight, but you had to use your big spells, right? So now you don't have your big spells. And even though horse meat is very appetizing, sometimes you have to hold yourself back, you know.
That's true. Yeah, you have to hold yourself back. That's very, very true. However, even if they don't use a Solar Guardian or a Doom, even though it's coming off cooldown now, I do think that Ancient Apparition finally hitting level 6, that could certainly be a game for the Centaur, who does get Doom, but first the Stampede. Yeah, really good reaction, and the TPs are coming in to support him. Ancient Apparition. Wow, they put the Solar Guardian as well. This is going to leave him pretty weak. The counter initiation, not enough immediately to burst through the Ancient Apparition, who all of a sudden turns with the Cold Feet Ice Blast. He lets it rip. Good damage there onto 2. As the escape blast not good enough here to get the Centaur, who had to run back in to cover the Centaur, or to cover the Storm.
They're gonna get more here.
He's going to go down, and they will get more. They even end up losing the Storm here. My goodness, they're onto the Ringmaster now. Gone, a double kill. He might just be able to make it 3. Both, though, is going to at least make them sure they get a few trades in return. But this is going to turn into a full team wipe. Or is it? The attempt to TP away, canceled by a punch to the face here. And that is going to be Jed Baby going down last. A 1-for-5
in the bot lane. This is, you know, I think IAP not respecting the cooldowns are ready, you know, the Doom and the Solar Guardian is up, and the Ice Blast. So they thought that, oh, last time we beat them, you know, so they decide to fight again. But they didn't have their heroes ready. And I think maybe if they had the Kunkka and ready and he has the boat initially when they go on the Centaur, then I feel like maybe the fight was okay, you know, with the Ringmaster ulti as well. But they just didn't have enough heroes. I mean, you see, they're not here at the same time.
Ringmaster's only level 5 as well.
Yeah, Kunkka is using the gate, as you can see on the corner there. So he's coming through the gate. So he wasn't at the fight right away, you know. It took some time before he got here, and he already lost 2 teammates, you know, Centaur and Storm died. And I was kind of surprised he still decided to go in, you know. He still thinks that I'm strong, even though they died, I still want to go in and fight, you know. He got a kill, yeah, sure, you know, but it was definitely not worth it at all.
Yeah, not on the end there. Yeah, I could see the calculus, I think, for IAP. They're like, okay, they kind of wasted Doom, and they basically wasted Solar Guardian. You know, like those spells didn't connect. But like you say, it was like the Storm was basically dead in that fight anyway because of him getting caught by the cold feet. So that was a really nice catch from the AA.
Sometimes it can be hard to make this sort of split decisions during the chaos. Everything is happening so quickly. You see the ultis from your opponent whiff, and then you think that, oh,
yeah,
they are weak, you know, they messed up, you want to go on them, you know, and then you realize, oh, actually, we don't have the numbers. We don't have enough people down here, you know.
And for the Storm, like you talked about this, right? Like good Storms need to be able to play this aggressive when they don't have such a hard counter, isn't that right? Like you kind of expect them to be aggressive.
Yeah, but so many deaths, you know, this early on, he doesn't have a lot of galvanized stacks ready. But meanwhile,
Olay, nice
kill.
dodge there on the dead shot. That looked good.
That's what we call a drive-by kill.
Nicely done. Hey, what do you think of this Ember's build? Speaking about the drive-by, let's take a look at his build. Right, he's gone for Earn into Blade Mail now, which is almost online.
Yeah, very interesting. Blade Mail. He wants to just get more armor, because usually you see Mage Slayer against her. But I will also say that Mage Slayer kind of has its merits here. They have a lot of magic damage. Kunkka, Storm, Centaur. But he decides that he wants the Blade Mail and he wants to be the frontline sort of.
A lot of Atos.
Silence.
Really good catch there. Just very easy.
Well, doesn't matter if you have a Blade Mail or a Mage Slayer dying to that.
Yeah, most likely. Quick kill
no
there.
chance.
Yeah, I think it's interesting, Winter. I wonder if it... hold on, the support's going to try and set something up onto the Storm. There's an Invis rune. Okay, a little cheeky initiation with the Ice Blast. Lovely kill, actually, onto the Storm. It's important to keep him down, right? I mean, and his Galvanized stack's down to 3 right now for Yana. So they're doing a phenomenal job here. They might even be able to get this tier 1 mid off the back of that solo pickoff.
Yeah, they find another catch here. Good block on the shots.
Master following his through. They have a stampede and a pipe in this fight. There's going to be the pipe. They're extra tanky here. Snowball, though, is going to buy them a bit of extra time. They've actually snowballed onto the backlines here. They take down the remaster. It sets them up for a 3-man torrent bone. It's only good for the kill, though, onto the Dawnbreaker. So it's still a 2-for-1 trade. However, with the Storm respawning and the tier 1 tower still alive, this is a good opportunity for Kopite to go ahead and retreat.
Yep, they have to run now. They have to learn from their past mistakes. You know, our cooldowns are not ready. We already used our spells. Time to back off, you know.
And the pipe is ready, right? I think that surprised me even. So they were extra tanky.
Yeah, he's going Crimson Guard next, which is very nice against the Tusk and Dawn. Kind of good against the Ember and Doom as well, because Doom wants to right click a lot, and Ember has like sleight of fist damage. So yeah, once they have this pipe plus Crimson, I think the fights are going to be very, very difficult for the Kopite side. You know, they have to be able to, I would say, who they want to kill first. I think they need to kill the Ring or the Centaur. Yeah. I guess the Ring should be
Centaur.
The first target you go on, and then you need to use Doom on Centaur.
I don't think it's going to save him from that one. Good reactions and an even better kill there. Top lane, though. We can see the Storm looking to set up for something with the Dawnbreaker eager to defend the tower.
Yeah, he's not an easy hero to kill. Pretty tanky with the Blade Mail in front of the tower, but backups inbound.
Double Blade Mail build, by the way. I think I don't mind because honestly, besides the Dawn or the Ember just kind of running in, I don't see such fantastic initiation prior to this Tusk Blink, which is only in 1,000 gold. But it's just like, it feels a little off.
Yeah, big catch here. He is going to finish his Radiance on the Doom. Yeah, that was a huge catch.
You compare that to the Radiance now that Jed Baby's just finished up. He's rocking this Radiance Kunkka and is going for the SNY next. So he will continue to scale and be this tanky frontliner with the Rum buff, the Radiance mischance, lots of control.
Yeah, but guess what, Richie? A is the best hero at killing tanky healers. Ice Blast, Vortex. You feel like you're invincible, but once you get hit by that Ice Blast, you're mean
change. We might see one here mid lane. Good control onto the Centaur. They force out this pipe. Careful here, though. Both feet are still going to actually connect. This tower fortified. They will continue to fight. The calling does give them some pause, though. They need to wait to time that one out. But as the calling falls, so does this pipe buff. It might, I was going to say, they might want to leave.
Yeah, they have to leave now. Centaur is only at half health, you know. They don't want to take a fight with Centaur being at half health. Yeah, they have to back off. Just reset. Yeah, as I was saying in the team fights, right, they have to try to get the Doom on the Centaur ideally, and maybe the Tusk or the Ember has to stop the Ringmaster from using Escape at. That would be their go-to plan on the Kopite side.
Okay.
Whereas for the IAP side, I feel like they have to find the first move. They need to go on the Doom or AA first. Doom and AA are going to be, especially the AA is a very, very key kill because I think he is probably going to contribute a very high amount of DPS in the team fights. He's going to do a lot of damage. So you need to kill the AA first, especially with the Bone Chill facet. You're going to die very easily.
Yeah, this is Bombi on the Ancient Apparition, who is itemizing pretty well for this, right? I think this Yule Scepter does give him that extra little bit of survivability for his team to reinitiate. Maybe just
it's
gets
good
off a
against
quick
the
Ice
X-Bomb
Blast.
most of the time.
I like it. I like it a lot. Used to always see the Rod of Atos on this hero, right?
Not so much nowadays after the nerfs. I mean, I think it's still good, but not as much. I mean, before it's like the default items. Now you see people going more Solar Crest. Use like, for example, in this game, some games you need to go Glimmer. I mean, that's the beauty of playing support, right? Your items are always changing depending on the situation you're in. There's like no set in stone build in most cases.
Okay, that's completed on this Ember. The two very strong mid-game timing items as they look for a quick off. Stay back is going to protect him from a little bit of damage, but he's going to still pop out into a world of pain. Long silence on the Ember Spirit. They control it quite well. And now with the Solar Guardian, the turn, the Doom, the quick and easy kill there onto the Storm Spirit, who is down to one galvanized stack. Winter, this was the Storm who got a solo kill onto the Ember in lane, and how the mighty have fallen.
Yeah, surprised they decided to fight there, because Kanka didn't have PP, he didn't have any means of joining the fight. So their carry is not coming. So where is your team fight coming, from the boat? If you don't have the boat, it's just the wheel, I don't think that's going to be enough at this point, I mean, Team Kopite here definitely taking full control of the game, looking to build on that advantage, 21 minute coming up next. So they have a haste rune on Doom. Wisdom Rune is going to spawn. I mean, the Wisdom Shrines.
Tusk.
I mean, if they can get another kill here, that would be very, very nice.
Looking for the backliners, and he's gone ahead and found one this Morita. Quick escape back here to try and save her, but she will tick down and end up being right-clicked by Chucky as soon as he comes out of the box. That leaves the ring completely defenseless, and that's how Kopite want these fights to look, right? They always want to start on these backliners, especially that ring.
Yeah. Ringmaster. I mean, same goes for IAP, right? They have to kill the AA, they have to eliminate these backliners. It's always the case nowadays, with how Dota is going. The backliners, the supports, right? They are doing so much damage. You're no longer just that backline support that casts some spells. You actually have damage to kill enemy cores, So you have to be a prime target in the team fights. Everybody's going to be trying to kill you, especially if you're A. A is like one of those few supports where your opponents see you, they're going to kill you. They want to focus you first. So you have to be very careful with your positioning, or you have to buy a lot of items to ensure your survival in the team fights. And you see here, Morita halfway to the axe, which is going to play a huge role. I think in the team fight, it's a very, very good axe. AOE even more AOE control. And Bombi already we see that has a Glimmer and Yules. So he has ways of getting out. Try to at least delay his death, if the Storm and Kanka decides to commit on him. This Storm is definitely not having the game I expected him to have after getting that first blood. Or actually maybe it wasn't a first blood, but just the first kill in the lane against the Ember.
Yeah, I also think what's interesting, we had talked about the Ember's build, about sometimes you usually see Mage Slayer. We still have a Mage Slayer actually on this
very interesting, Blade Mail Vessel.
Right.
He just wants to constantly fight. I think this is like the better fighting build in some ways. You don't really farm for any expensive items in bot lane. Another catch onto the meta, so he's not going to be getting that axe anytime soon.
This? They have Pipe Crimson ready, Stampede committed, X marks the spot, they see the Ancient Apparition, he's yet to use his Ice Blast, so they're going to pick up the Solar Guardian to protect him for him to try and get it out. Wheel of Wonder, Wheel Scepter buys him even more time, but that wheel is delaying both these sports. Ice Blast comes out, it's still going to connect onto this Centaur, but didn't quite nick the Kunkka. However, Centaur in a lot of trouble. Yeah, he's going to go down, and the Kunkka, he's got no escape. Storm, he zips out of the fight, but they're chasing after him. Voicing out all that mana. Ice Shard, Snowball in a few more seconds. Storm, with a bit of mana remaining, does get away safely to that tier 2 tower. Ooh, a 1-for-3 trade. Once again, they start that fight off down a hero, Winter.
Yeah, that was actually quite insane, you know. They still decide to go there.
Whoa. Hold on. Speaking of insane,
probably gonna pay for his O extension here.
Yeah. Or is he actually Snowball?
He gets
Snowball
out.
onto the Mud Golem. Really nice chain gang there. They're not going to let them through the defender's gate, and that means Chucky picks up a double kill at the footsteps of the enemy base.
One step too far away from home. Just right in front of them. They see home, you know. They see the gate, but they couldn't get in.
It was a gate too far.
Yeah, this is looking troublesome right now for IAP. Team Kopite looking in firm control of the game and looking to even further extend it by getting Roshan.
Oh my god, this AA is level 14 and has an amplified damage rune. Get out of there.
Yep, definitely get out of there, you know. AA is probably one of the scariest support with levels, you know. You see AA with levels, you're like, oh my god, I'm gonna die. You have that sinking feeling, you know, especially if you're one of those tanky cores with a lot of HP and then you get hit by the bone chill and then you just die and you just wonder, why am I dying so easy, you know? Why am I not tanky?
Yeah, man. Even the Centaur's like, excuse me, Valve, I have 50 HP regen a second. I have 50% magic resist. AA's like, haha, I don't care. Goodbye. And he's even tankier now, actually, this Ancient Apparition. He's actually picked up the mechanism here, Winter.
Let's see if he gets the shot. Yes, he does.
That seems really nice.
Gaben loves him today.
Solid upgrade there for him.
I mean, they get nerfed a little bit, but 10% nerf. So the cold feet is like 10% less than before, but still pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say so. It's
one of the best
really
shots
strong
still.
Overall, isn't it? 1.5 seconds compared to 1.8 seconds. Really good.
I mean, Dawn also has her shot. Oh,
she does. You got this Mage Slayer as well. Blade Mail will be able to tank this boat very easily as in goes Chucky. Doom's going to be onto the Kunkka as he runs down the Ringmaster. Lots of DOT, but dies as soon as he leaves the box. But Chucky may have overextended here. Perfect timing on that BKB expiring, but reinitiation now by the Dawnbreaker. He jumps back like the two-man Ice Blast. It's perfect. The patience there from Bombi paying off. As 2 cores are down, a third's got a TP away and bail out of this fight with the BKB. And everyone alive here for Kopite who are sieging the tier 2 tower, and they may just go high ground here, Winter.
Yeah, looks like it. They've already eliminated 4 heroes. Time to take even more. Well, they actually learned from their lesson, you know. Not to go high ground too early. That's a lesson I think everybody has to learn nowadays, you know. High ground is a totally different beast. Don't want to throw the game at high ground. They should just look for Roche. Get Roche, get Aegis, and then, you know, go into the high ground. Here we see how the fight started on the Dawn. She took the brunt of the initiation, the bolt and everything. And the Doom comes in from the side, gets the Doom on the Kunkka. Kunkka has to run. He uses his BKB, he cleans up one of the supports. And Dawnbreaker kind of repays the favor. Right? Thanks for saving me, buddy. I'm here to save you.
Yeah, right? And then all of a sudden, all this space, like these 2 tanky heroes running them down, it frees up so much space for the AA, who just so casually walks in and lands like the perfect
you see
ice
why AA with Ember is like such a strong pairing. He double chains with the Vortex and all the magic damage on top, you just disappear, you know?
You can see, I think that Chucky
even through the pipe, you know,
laughing.
they have a pipe, you know, but they still just died.
All of a sudden, it's like, you know, I think one of the early fights that Kopite took, you know, when they were like, oh, let's just keep fighting, let's keep winning, they go on the Centaur, and then the fight turns out very poorly. It seems like now with the net worth deficit IAP are facing, they're the ones that need to be a little bit more picky in choosing their fights. They can't get drawn into these long fights, as when the numbers show up, they're at a severe disadvantage. Another solo kill there for Gon.
Nah, this is
really the itemizations, by the way, overall on Kopite's side.
I mean, it's definitely interesting, you know, on the Ember. Ember just wants to like keep on fighting and going for all this. Like, you could say he went for 3 small little items, but they're not exactly too cheap in a way. I mean, use is good for the Conquer, and you have the Vessel for damage. There's a lot of utility items, right? He knows that the damage is going to come from his support. And you see the A here.
He got caught there. Into that apparition immediately kicks it off, and he's just dead, permanently stunned.
I think you can do this if you have a support like A on your side. When you know that the supports are kind of going to take care of the DPS department, so you can kind of go for more survival or utility items on your cores.
I agree. And like you said, these items aren't necessarily cheap, but the build-up's pretty good for all of them. You know, like Urn Intermediary, all the Yule Scepter items, the Blade Mail's not that expensive, right? And like you say, with a support like Ancient Apparition, especially with such a relatively low cooldown ult, you know, compared to like a Silence or Global, like it does give you, freeze you up, right?
Warlock Golem.
Oh, the Rock?
Yeah. Always one of the few spells that comes to my mind right away when you talk about long cooldown spells. I mean, so Roshan is done. Doom is gonna be having the license to go crazy now. He has an extra life. So if he wants to do something crazy, it's time to do it now.
Oh, but how can IEP get back in this fight? I mean, they are down 20k just under 30 minutes in. They're facing this Aegis. Their high ground defense, it looks okay. I mean, what's the winning strategy here? Has it not changed? It's just get on top of this Ancient Apparition?
Yeah, they still have to find the Ancient Apparition first. I think the Storm has to stay alive. I mean, getting a BKB done will definitely help. He needs to be able to focus, because if you look at their heroes, right, it's probably going to be his job to find the A. I mean, you could say that, oh, Centaur has a dagger, and he should also be trying to find the A, but in the reality of the team fights, Centaur has to try to play the first fight. He needs to go in first,
poke, this move,
and then you try to reveal the enemy's positioning of their heroes, and then the Storm finds the A. You know, I think this is more of a reliable way to set up your team fight. So the Storm is probably going to be the main hero to try to kill the A, but it won't be easy with Glimmer, Yules, Mac, Greaves, you know.
Yeah, Greaves even. Well, I mean, look at the smoke, though, coming out from IAP, right? I think they were bottom. They've smoked through the gate, and they're actually running down this top lane, where right now Bombi is just chilling in the middle of the lane.
I mean, if they can actually find the AA first, that would be a nice way to start the team fight. But then you need to kind of also be wary of the Tusk, but the Tusk is far away. You know, if the Tusk can't snowball save the A, then the A should be cooked. You know, then the fight would be, I think, quite manageable. If they can kill the A first, I can see them winning the subsequent team fight. You know, you ignore the Doom because Doom has Aegis. You try to kill the rest of the heroes first, and then if you can do that, maybe they could still win the team fights, you know. But they need to kill AA first. I think if AA doesn't die, I don't see how IAP can win the team fight.
Agreed. And I think, to be clear, even if they expend everything to kill the AA, you're still down 20k. And yeah, the AA's, you know, doing a lot of work right now. He's actually almost as far as
Centaur. They have a decent ward there, right? So the ward should see where the AA is. I mean, you say that it's just an AA, you know, but the AA is actually quite a substantial amount of the damage from the Kopite side. I
agree.
I mean, I would say, what's a reasonable take? Maybe 30% of the damage, 20 to 30% of the team fight damage, probably.
Sure.
20, yeah, sure. 20 to 30%.
I don't disagree with that. All I'm saying is there's still a Doom with the Aegis. You got BKBs all the way around here on everyone except the Ember.
20k behind, you know, there's going to be a lot of butts,
that's
you know.
What I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So they still kind of have to make something happen here. And if you're just joining us, we've had a quick pause here, just over 30 minutes in. You've got Kopite here on this Radiant side in game 1 of the SCA closed qualifiers for the road to the International. IAP, after a strong early start to the lanes, have kind of let things get out of hand here. Some really strong fights, and as we're talking about a lot, this Bombi Ancient Apparition absolutely popping off here. 6-5 and 18 so far this game. He's pretty wealthy. He's got 3k in the bank even. Wow, he's having a nice game.
Now he was set up for success. You have the Tusk, you have the Ember. I think whenever you see an A, you are kind of hoping that you have teammates to set up your Cold Feet and Vortex Icebuds. You know, I think Ember and Tusk, they are arguably two of the like way better ones, way top ones. You know, I think Ember is like definitely one of the top combinations with A. I mean, sometimes you see A with Tiny. I think that's another one. because you amplify the tiny spell damage, the nukes, and the tiny also kind of sets up for the AA spells, so that's also another decent one. So as long as you have heroes like this, AA is going to have easy ways of landing the spells, and they also kind of protect and shield the AA in the team fights, right? Because we keep talking about, AA needs to die first if you're IAP, and having Dawn, having Tusk, having Ember, they basically have 4 melee heroes, around AA, that's why it's hard to kill them.
That's true.
There's so many bodies around him.
And one of those bodyguards here, this Tusk, he's got BKB, so he's not going to be as bothered by that AoE silence.
See that IC Spire.
It's perfect timing now. Storm's BKB is ready. The Fear is going to connect. You've got the Ember still trying to protect him. Check out this smoke. It's still good. They go. They connect on the stun. It's perfect, actually. The Wheel of Wonder to follow up on the 2. The Doom into the boat, into everything. It's perfect. The Ancient Apparition, he's down. And the Ember, he may soon fall as well. But Chucky, he's doing a lot of work here. Ember's still alive. Bond simply walks away. Brought back by the X-Torrent, trying to finish him off. The dead shot, dead. Down he goes. And so far, so good. They've only lost the Kunkka, but now the rest of the team, this net worth really making a difference. You can see there Carlo picking up the kill onto the Storm. It's still going to be a 2-for-2 trade. But a pretty successful defense, honestly, and a great start there. Taking down that AA. No Ice Blast. You can see what a difference it makes.
Yeah, that was as good as it gets, right? They got the stomp on A and Ember. And yeah, I mean, they only got off like a 2-for-2 trade, and you could argue that they lost the trade because they lost 2 cores for A and Ember, but being 20k behind, I don't think you can ask for more, if you're IAP.
Yeah. I mean, the base goes defended, right?
That was basically what I said they have to do, They get the A, they ignore the Doom because Doom has Aegis, they try to kill the other heroes. They got basically the 2 heroes in the first initiation from Centaur, the A and the Ember, but just didn't have enough in the tank. Once the BKBs were down, they were just gonna, die to the Doom, Radiance damage, Scorch Earth, and everything else. I mean, if the game was a lot less dire in terms of net worth, I think that would have been easily a clean teamfight win, for IAP, given the way they initiated.
But they've given themselves another stab at it, right? I mean,
yeah, I guess you could say that.
Barracks.
They live to tell the tale, or they live for another day.
Yeah, I think the reality of Dota these days is you're very rarely not going to be able to win a fight like that and all of a sudden be very back in the game. The economy just doesn't work like that anymore. Back in the day, if you killed this Ember and you got like 3,000 gold.
Yeah, sure. If you're the side 20k behind and your team wipe your enemy team, or at least kill 3 or 4 heroes, then maybe one fight sometimes can actually put you back in contention on the game, But in most cases, it takes like at least 2 to 3 fights.
Oh, hold on.
Wow, straight up
no.
Doom.
Oh, they just straight up doomed him. Ice
How
Blast.
did he just walk up to his face?
He was just clicking creeps, man. He was just clicking creeps. And for Yona, he's going to be forced to watch for the next minute. Does not have buyback. And still with a minute left on this Aegis, Chucky leads his team up to the high ground.
That's a lesson you have to learn. Do not walk up the lane in front of the Doom to get creeps, if you don't have Lincolns.
Yeah. BKB is not going to save you from that one. Yeah, he just kind of ate the Doom, honestly, Winter. These dead shots are so annoying. The Torrent as well, just trying to do as much damage as you can. And they're fighting into this one. There's going to be Stampede. BKB forced to fight without the Storm Spirit, but they do take down Doom. First life. That is the Aegis reclaimed now. Look at them dive this tower. Underneath the tier 4s they go. The chain gang is doing so much work at just controlling everyone. The Muerta's gonna go down. Ooh, and a jump in. Carlo feeling himself. The Ice Blast. Oh no, and the Centaur, he blinked right into it, Winter. He's got buyback. Both supports buying back instantly now as well as a quick dead shot there. Will connect on the heroes. The Storm, he's respawned. Will they buy back now on the Centaur to make a full 5-man? Yes, they will, but they're losing. The Kunkka gets saved by the escape back, but he's in a lot of trouble with the damage over time. The Glimmer Cape, he makes it back into the fountain alive, but the fight's still looking bad. The Storm Spirit dies to Chucky. They're in the fountain. He's forced by that tidal wave, but it's still going to be a double kill there for DCMG, and the GG is dropped. It is going to be a game 1 win here for Kopite. It's IAP. They fall after the laning stage.
Yeah, GG for Kopite, being able to kind of navigate the bad laning phase. They didn't really lose the laning phase soon. It's not really exactly just like an A, even though you're in the same category of hero.
Agreed. Yeah, that's what I was trying to get across is we get into game number 2. I thought maybe there was a world where we don't see Instigate, but it is still going to be the Instigate
the other
facet.
facet's kind of nice, you know, sometimes. I
Yeah.
think in some games it can be good, but yeah, most of the time you see Instigate having the manual detonation so you can control when it goes off. Oh, wait a minute. Someone's getting caught.
Perfect ice shard. It's V. That's Fiend
Do they have
in
the damage,
trouble.
though?
Good reaction on that Bramble Maze, though. They're trying to just tank this, and it's not going to work out. DCMG will fall for first blood to Jed Baby. Anya quickly turning. It's a 2 for 1, but it'll be a 3 for 1 at the end of the day.
And that didn't actually look that good in the start, you know. I mean, he got the shot blocked, but they don't have any follow-up, right? Because they shot and then they don't have ink, so he went for the stroke of wave. I think he wasn't in range or something. I forgot where he was standing, but they couldn't, you know, catch the hero, you know, the shot block, and then the Night Stalker just kind of walked out of the shot, you know.
Yeah,
that is a disaster for for Team Kopite. Just what IFE needed, you know, to start the game off. After what happened in the first game. Yeah.
That's going to be, a solid net worth lead. I was about to say here for this Morphling to start off. Those extra stats coming to him in lane will only make this kind of, you know, you talked about in the draft, right? This Ion Shell versus the high base damage of Morph. It'll get him off to a better start here, that's for sure.
So Dark Wheeler got 2 kills, yeah, so he has chosen to go for, he has a null, and yeah, he's going to start the lane with a null, yeah. So this is going to be a significant advantage for the Night Stalker's lane.
up here, by the way. They were smoked,
okay,
but he's going to TP out. Okay.
Trying to look for first blow.
Yeah, I guess while the Morph didn't really need any support down bottom for the first wave, but he'll be back bottom now.
Yeah, Morphling is not a carry you want to leave alone for too long, you know. He's like a baby that needs a lot of attention, especially at level 1.
Ooh, and this Willow, even with that first blood bonus money, Bombi still has vision and gets an uphill miss. I like that, though, just consuming the Fairy Fire anyway. Of course, this innate, right? Anytime that a Grimstroke deals damage to you, he still gets a vision for 4 seconds, so that's why he could uphill attack there. I think a lot of people forget about this.
Yeah, I really like the design of some of the heroes, like Innates and Facets. It just makes the team really stand out, you know. I think Grimstroke is definitely one of them.
I agree.
It might not be the best innate, but it stands out.
Some of them, though, you know, some of them need a little bit of work. But there are some fantastic ones. I absolutely agree with you. I actually quite like this.
Spirit has a sad one, right? Because it's just basically
that's what I was getting at here. But let's just move on so I don't start ranting, shall we? Because there's still plenty of action in the lanes, and I think one of the more better innates actually. Even though I still quite like the old one here for Darkseer, I love Aggrandize as well. I love seeing pros really play on the edge around their level spikes, you know, or around their level ups, and utilizing that bonus regen. Really fun.
Yeah, I mean that's what brought Darkseer back into the spotlight, the change to the innate. So you are actually a much better laner. You get a lot of resource back. And yeah, you're able to pressure the opponents a lot better. You know, you see here in terms of CS, like I mentioned, Morphling doesn't really worry about the Darkseer. If the Darkseer is not, you know, finding openings to pressure him, if you're just last hitting, Morphling is going to do really well in this lane. You see him having 13 last hits and 1 deny now, so he's doing pretty well, you know. Darkseer not too far behind, just 1 CS behind.
Yeah.
But the purpose of this lane is to try to, you know, at least pressure or even kill, you know, the Morphling. You know.
Agreed. Especially at level 3, right? I mean, I think Darkseer, you have to give him a little bit of time. He's almost, actually, he's going to get it, I believe, with this creep. So we'll see how he can get going. But overall, actually, across all 3 lanes, it's looking fairly even at the moment.
But also the fact that the Morphling has a Witch Doctor. I think Witch Doctor is one of the better heroes to deal with this sort of pressure. You know, double melee, your cast is going to, you know, bounce a lot. So it's not going to be easy for them.
Trying to TP away. Oh, very nice Torrent. Chucky.
Yeah, but that's still like a pretty big win, you know. The Grimstroke is going to be... You know, sometimes I just rather die, you know, because if I TP out of the lane, I have to make like a long way towards back to the lane, the long walk, and then my carry can't farm. You know? That's how I feel like sometimes it's probably just better to die and just TP back to the lane, you know. Like if So I guess if the Kanka is able to just farm and last hit still, it will be fine. But if you're laning say with a Drow, which kind of always needs people to babysit him, then it could be a issue, you know. Maybe Kanka will be okay here in this case, you know. He's gonna just go back, pull the wave, and he should be fine until the Grimstroke returns to the lane.
Yeah.
And meanwhile,
It's a
Carlo
Kanka.
on the toss, he's gonna do some stacking and some room healing.
Yeah. Pretty good damage on the Anya, but again, just a tough catch here. Yona expecting a Bombi. Yeah, no way out of that one. Snowball. Yona, he's used actually all of his skills here, so if they can just get on top of him, it ought to be a kill. And with the tag team slow, it is guaranteed. So a step too far there for IAP's mid will cost him.
Yeah, very, very costly there. Right, going down.
Ooh,
It's also quite
almost perfect
surprising
dice
that
shards.
he actually went for the Thunderbolt. You know, I was kind of expecting the double jump, because whenever you're playing into counters, right, Puck or Grimstroke, you kind of want to have more survivability rather than a faster roll, because you're going to be controlled, at least by the soulbind, you know, during roll. You know, so quite surprising that he actually opted to go for the Thunderbolt instead of the double jump. But we'll see how it plays out. Maybe he's going to itemize differently. We'll just have to
Close
wait.
one on that Malady.
Yeah, that almost ended up in a kill on the Darkseer here. But nighttime is ending, so Night Stalker is going to be Daywalker, and he is going to get punished here. Bombi's posturing aggressively. He's getting ready to initiate.
Yeah, sending any second now, so they're going to kick things off with that X into the Torrents. There's going to be the Inkswell. Ooh, but Chucky still actually catches him, but did run straight into that Bramble. Either way, just a solid bit of harass here. On to Fiend, V, the Night Stalker.
Yeah, I mean, meanwhile, Morphling is also pretty happy. He's getting free farm, and Darkseid is back towards his... this is where the offlaners go nowadays. In between the Wisdom Shrine and just farming the two camps. You push out your lane, you go and stack, or you just farm the two camps. You know, this is just what most of the offlaners are doing. That's why you see all these farming jungling heroes picked a lot.
Oh, first Stream Coil up in that top lane with the Inkswell right on top. No running here for the Night Stalker, who's going to try and cut a wave.
Yeah,
will be punished for that crime.
Not too bad. That's space for the other heroes.
Mid lane. There's our first Rolling Thunder with that Thunder Roll. Maledict on top. Carlo does actually do a great job at avoiding a lot of damage here. Snowball back here onto the Pangolier. Carlo, he's going to be just fine actually with that regen rune running.
Yeah, he's going to be alive. He's going to be fine. And the Wisdom Shrines are going to pop out soon. So it's probably going to be one apiece since Roll is down and Coil is down. So I don't think any of the mid laners want to participate in any fight or in any action. So probably going to be a peaceful trade between the two teams for the Shrines.
Oh, you say that, but Bombi's he's got lines drawn on the map. Second here.
What he's drawing? Who is it? It's the Puck? Is it Puck drawing the line there?
No, Bombi's green. I think it was green.
So here we go. All right, you're right. Here comes the fight. No ultis, but we fight anyway.
Yeah, I mean, Coil in 15, only 10 seconds left, and we're not even really that close to the Dark Ascension here. Yeah, it is a day walker. Decent silence here on Anya, but even better spell casting. The Witch Doctor rotating on through. This cat can do a lot of work, and it is. Oh, but better start here. Anya, he's going to actually pop to this Maledict here, as the Coil does hold him back only for a moment, trying to get on top of this Pango underneath the tower, pulled back by the X. Snowball committed. He's got a lot of armor under this tower now, but Chucky, he will die for that final last hit. Triple kill here for the Conqueror.
Yeah, they made the right read there. And here they're trying to get a rebuttal on the Dark Willow. Suggy Baby gets the toss. He's gonna die for it though.
Yeah, he will.
But it was the right read for Kopite, because it was a Daywalker, like we mentioned. He's level 5, so even though it was a 4v4, but you are technically one hero down, right? Because Night Stalker doesn't do anything.
Yeah. I mean, he's got 3 points in the Hunter in the Night. He literally is a Daywalker. He's not doing much. Tough fight there to swallow. Who ended up with that wisdom?
A good thing. Like in vampire movies, when you say Daywalker, it means that the vampire is not afraid of sun, you know. But in Dota, it's like when we say Daywalker, it means that Night Stalker is useless. He's not going to be fast.
You're more up to date on the vampire lore than I am. I eat too much garlic, so I never really find out anything about vampires.
Oh no, here we go again. Round 2. No Wisdom Shrine, but Daywalker kill again.
3 seconds on that ultimate on the coil. Yeah, pot dropped perfectly. They're going to jump on forward. Quick little silence. Good body blocks. He's still going to get under that tower, but now he's silenced by the Phantom's Embrace and taken down by that Inkswell explosion. 1-1-3 build here for Bombi. Really nice move to continue punishing the Night Stalker.
Is the Night Stalker going to be level 6, at this point, back-to-back deaths, this is looking really bad. They're going to lose their offlane tower at 8 minutes. This is disastrous. But on the bright side, you could always say, hey, my Morphling's free farming. Morphling is the strongest hero in this game. So let's just sit back, relax, and enjoy the Waterboy show. Yeah,
that's fair. That is fair. They can try and play around the strength of this Pango as well, right? They're smoked up.
Yeah, but at the same time, Richie, you have to be wondering, how is the game going to look like if Grimstroke somehow finds a way to get Aghanims right and they are going to get their own Water Boy?
Yeah, especially if Bombi's able to kind of neutralize the threat of this Pango with the ulti. So far, there is no ulti, so this Rolling Thunder down bottom is going to do a lot of good work here onto the Darkseer, but he's actually quite tanky with this Vanguard Winter. The Rum buff now connecting as well as that Wall of Replica is dropped. They did spawn illusions of everyone. Yona on the run now, caught by the two-man coil. They've caught this Witch Doctor as well. It's a thing of beauty, but it's so good, actually. Great spell casting. I thought the Ice Shards were going to get in the way there, but it was just the perfect blocking shards. And
yeah, I mean,
a big rotation. Big rotation, but it works out so well.
Yeah, once again, we are seeing how Kopite moving as a team much better than IAP. I mean, there was kind of like a poke from IAP to kind of force some TPs. So when you're making this kind of play, you don't want to lose too many heroes, or if any at all. You're trying to just soft commit, poke, and make the enemy react. But they kind of went a little bit too far, and they lost 2 heroes to the call, which is kind of like not the objective of that, right? They wanted to force them to TP and run away, but they couldn't get out to make space for Morphling. So that was a price to pay, a heavy price to pay. And now Team Kopite, they are in, I would say, like a pretty good lead, at 10 minutes, having 3k. So they're feeling good.
Top lane Chucky, just with the X mark. Messed up the timing there a little bit, but he does have Carlo rotating through. Snowball is actually going to connect here. And with the tag team, Chucky still has the kill easily.
I mean, he's already pretty close to his Radiance, more than halfway there already. So this is going to be a very early Radiance for Chucky. And this is going to be hard, Morphling, sure, he's fat, he's farm. But can he do it alone? I doubt that, he needs some backup, from his other teammates.
Oh, and life's just looking difficult as well here for the Pango, right? He's getting bullied. But he really needs to get this Diffusal online. He's gone for the tough Spark of Courage, so just doing as much damage as he can here realistically. And here we go. This could be promising. First Dark Ascension is going to be popped. Decent, unlucky bounces there, generally speaking, but the damage with the Maledict, yeah, it's still going to be way too much. No chance for a Snowball save. However, the Darkseer counter-initiating. Out comes finally the Soulbind onto 2. The punch only on the Pangolier into the coil, but the Terrorize scaring them off. Snowball coming back on in there as Jed Baby's morphed himself into the Tusk. Waveforms forward, tries for this kill now onto the Darkseer, but he's going to be, he's still going to drop actually. Now it's Bombi who stands alone in this fight as the Daywalker turned Night Stalker able to turn this game around, Winter.
Yeah, they started off with a really good catch on the Conquer with the Maledict plus Death Ward. He killed him, I think, pretty much full to 0. He didn't get any spells off. And the fight was pretty straightforward. After that, Night Stalker comes in with the Dark Ascension. Just give his team the vision to kill the rest of the heroes, right? Just well played, finally a good move by IAP, just putting together the right rotations to get that kill initially on the Conquer, and everything else just fell into place,
Is that kind of how you need to start fights if you're IAP?
I mean, if you can kill the enemy carry, from the start.
Yeah, that's true. But but in this lineup, right? Because there are some lineups where it's like if it's a Sven 12 minutes in, you don't really care about killing him first because he's not doing all that much, right? As long as you're not getting wombo combo.
Yeah, but, there are definitely going to be some exceptions, but I think in general, if you can kill the enemy carry before the fight starts, it's always going to be good for you, Obviously, the exceptions are going to be like heroes like, Brave King, right? You don't want to touch him first, because he has 2 lives, They're going to be some heroes that you can't do that.
it's just like talking about like the control, the tankiness out of this ghost ship, the eventual Radiance, which is going to be online now for Chucky, right? Like he is especially target number one.
And it's also the fact that you mentioned the Radiance, right? If you can kill a hero farming Radiance before he gets the Radiance, it's always going to be like a big deal. Slowing the Radiance by 1 minute 30 seconds, it's always going to matter a lot in the game. But now he finally has it. It's still a pretty good timing, you know, 40 minutes Radiance. He is fat, you know.
Speaking of another timing here, this is going to be a fight. Well, Dark Ascension's actually ready to go, but as is this Diffusal Blade ready for the Pangolier.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I like
the
Halberd so much, you know, on Darkseid. You know, he actually went for a Halberd after the Vanguard. So he didn't like rush the aura items quickly, like the Mech Pipe.
Mech's in the quick buy now, but
Mech and Pipe. Mech is pretty good here. I mean, Mech is always good against like the Maledict, so you can block off some of the damage.
Thunder
coming in here now with the Thunderbolt.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Control is pretty perfect. And they actually caught him right as soon as he surged. Soulbind is going to come through, does latch him onto the Witch Doctor, but Soulbind brought him back, actually, thanks to the X marks the spot. Check out that backline dive, though, out from the Willow and the Night Stalker. That's a Grimstroke down for the count. Puck not really finding too much here. In fact, he's going to be terrorized, maledicted, and finished off. Jed Baby jumping on in. Chucky, he's been located in the trees. There's no hiding from the Night Stalker. And despite the Radiance burn and Captain's Coco's rum, he shall fall. A 3-for-none trade here in favor of IAP. Some phenomenal fights with these Dark Ascensions, Winter.
Yeah, they were able to also find the Grimstroke right away. I think that was also like a key thing. We've been talking about this in the first game with the A. I think Grimstroke, again, once more falls into the same category. You have to kill the Grimstroke first. And it was also the fact that he kind of exposed himself, right? Because he was trying to soulbind the Rolling Thunder from the Pango. And then I didn't feel like he needed to do it, you know, because the Rolling Thunder didn't look threatening. I think they were, his teammates, they were already dodging it enough that he actually didn't have to expose himself, you know, to do it. Because once he did that, then they saw him and the Night Stalker just popped out and just went in for the kill. So I think that was the main reason why they lost that team fight, you know. So he has to be more careful with his positioning in the next fight, because if he dies so early in the fight, it's going to be very difficult, you know, for his team. And we were also mentioning about the build on the Darkseid that he went Halberd first.
Yes.
I feel like his timings this game is going to be on the Crimson. The pipe maybe not so much, you know, because the main magic damage is just like the Willow. So I think the Crimson is going to help with the Night Stalker, with the morphing, but because he decided to go for Halberd, so I don't know if he's still going to go back for that later, you know. So we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah.
You know? I didn't really like the Halberd as much, you know. It's only going to help mostly if you can use it against the morphing when he's going on your teammates, or the Night Stalker when he's coming in, you know. But even then, I feel like if you use it on the Night Stalker's job in a team fight is not so much about right-clicking, but it's more about just coming in with the Dark Ascension and giving the vision, so the morphing can find the right targets to kill. Yeah, and the silence as well, you know, for the puck, you know.
Yeah, I agree. I see the rationale. Like the early pipe, like you say, it's not super value. It's like Maledict and like a little bit of damage elsewhere. That's about it. But yeah, maybe Mech first, you know, just even the bonus heals. I get what you mean. I like the Vanguard for the lane though, honestly. Maybe he just felt pressured to convert it.
I kind of expected the Vanguard into Crimson, but the Halberd is like, I'm not really sure if it's going to do a whole lot here. But whereas for Team IAP, Morphling has Manta and Vlad's already done, so he's very, very strong right now. It's very difficult to kill him. And if you're Kopite and you're looking at this Morphling, you're going to have to be considering, okay, he is going to be very strong. We have to accept it, and we have to be already planning for the long run, right? We need to somehow figure out how to get Aghanim's on our Grimstroke to be able to deal with the Morphling. And this is no longer a game we can just snowball and run them over, you know. It's going to be like a long grind. We have to slowly pick our fights. We have to be more patient. And yeah, it's a test for the team, you know, whether they can actually find a way to win when things don't go their way.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. For IAP, like their items are continuing to march in. Hold that thought, actually. It's going to be a boat top. They're trying to force the Dark Ascension here. Can they kill him off? With the Mage Slayer even, wow. They've got him dead to rights. A pretty big kill there. He's almost 500 gold alone to Chucky.
That was like a little bit like right on the edge of the area. I thought the boat was going to miss. But they still landed
he had it calculated.
Yeah, calculated, you know. So that's finally an end to the reign of the Night Stalker or the Daywalker, you know, the best time to kill him during the day. But not according to the some vampire movies, you know, when you call people Daywalker, it means they're very strong.
I guess, yeah. I don't.
Yeah, because they can walk in the sun.
What are you watching a lot of Vampire Diaries? Is it? I don't really.
No.
I don't really know much about this. Twilight? You a big Twilight guy?
I'm more of an Underworld guy, you know.
Oh, yeah. See, I don't know that one. I don't know that
Twilight
one.
is more about more like my wife's type of movie, you know, but not my type.
Right. Yeah. Well, yeah. I don't know. Maybe you really enjoyed, you know, the acting or something. Whatever else is in that. The sparkly vampires. But alongside the Daywalker, right, there are more items coming online. Specifically, like Yana, he's now got the shield, and he's itching for a fight. They won't find one, so maybe they'll just be able to force this around Roshan. But he's got this Blink Dagger, right, and that might make a difference in terms of him being able to reach the Grimstroke first, just that extra mobility, that extra catch. I like the item a lot here.
Yeah, whereas for Kopite, they have to farm BKB on Kanka. They need I mean, I don't know the dagger on Puck or the mech. Okay, the mech's already ready. I don't even know if all those other items would matter as much as like the BKB on Konka or even the axe, you know, on Grimstroke. Grimstroke has gotten a dagger first, so he has a way to initiate the team fights, find better angles to start. But I'm not really that sold, you know. Maybe with the BKB done. Did he just... Yeah, he just bought it. Okay, this is like, I think the biggest item they can hope for at this point. So
BKB's
they're going
done.
to try to look for a fight.
Mech on Darkseer is ready. Strewn into the bottle for Yona. Roshan, he is going to start migrating over to this top lane. There's a Dark Ascension, so they're going to try and force it now on a V. Boat is out. That AoE silence is pretty good, but they're losing him. They need some support, but Chucky with the BKB able to fight through the Rolling Thunder now, as they did drop that Soulbind. Bombi stuck onto the high ground now. He is going to go down, but in exchange for the Night Stalker, especially with the Dark Ascension pop, that is still a fairly good trade.
Yeah. That's a good trade for sure. Support for core. That's a pretty long cooldown for the Dark Ascension.
We're going to force this fight. Oh, Torrent's catching two. Anya jumping on in. Doesn't have that coil anymore, though. Terrorize onto two. The jump on in now with the Bedlam active. It's just not enough damage onto Carlo. He gets off the snowball. Turns with the Warwolf's Punch. No. Couldn't actually get that one onto Jed Baby, who is really tanky here, actually. He's not an easy kill at all. So it's a slightly better trade, but it's not really the opening that I think IAP were looking for to convert into Roshan.
Yeah, they needed a bigger kill for that to happen. I mean, it's still, I think, overall a pretty good result for them. Because you have Morphling, you have the strongest hero in the game. He's not dying, you're getting kills, game goes on, Morphling is still farming. I think overall you consider that a win, you know, for your side, you know, for the IAP team. And whereas for Team Kopite, they are the ones that tried to fight, right, with the BKB timing on the Konka. They wanted to get a key kill. They killed the Night Stalker, but they weren't able to turn that into a big advantage. You know? Now they find the Night Stalker again. Poor guy.
Poor guy. He's a Night Walker, but you know, didn't really get anything off there. No blink, no chance to do much else, and down he goes. In the meantime, it's space, right? IAP, they will go ahead and take Tormy down bottom. Who ended up with the shard? Was it Willow? It was the Willow. It's pretty good, actually. I like Willow shard. Makes this hero super annoying.
Yeah, I actually like it even more if you have the other facet, where you do damage, bonus damage on top of your Curse Crown.
Oh.
He has the Throwing Shade this time, which is also quite popular. So you do a lot of damage. You do more damage when you're near the enemy heroes with your Shadow Realm. But yeah, still an easy kill for the Park here. He was able to finish his heals, so he's gonna have a way to get out of that next time.
Yeah, the Switch Doctor also finishing off the mechanism, just like taking a quick peek at support items. Bombi still does not have that axe.
Didn't use it yet.
He didn't use the Grigri. Yeah, he's up to 612. So he's investing in his future. Top lane. Hold on, real quick. Jed Baby. X Mark. Oh, couldn't Manta dodge the boat, but still will be able to escape. Oh, this is a beautiful Rolling Thunder onto 3 heroes. Chucky does manage to get off that BKB, and the Puck joining this fight, trying to force Morphling away. Thunder Roll has finally ended as the second turret of the fight is pretty good, but Chucky chunked out by that Maledict. Down he goes. DCMG able to live through this fight. The snowball's going to be onto this Morphling. They're really trying to take him down, but he's able to reset. And all this space in the fight means that V is just running down these heroes with the Dark Ascension activated. It'll be 4 dead. Nobody dead on the side of IAP. These are the fights they need to try and take this series to a game 3.
Yeah, just again, you know, they tried to all in the Morphling, but couldn't really. I mean, they're kind of close, I guess, but not exactly that close. I mean, I think he got the Pike during mid-fight, something like that. Then he was able to push himself out, and yeah, there was no way they kill him. I mean, once you're all in the Morphling, that's it, you know. His teammates come in with a Dark Ascension. You don't kill him, that's it. Fight's over.
Great Rolling Thunder here as we'll take a look at the replay. It looked real close.
Yeah, I guess it was the Witch Doctor, right? With the cast that saved him, and then the heals, barely keeping him alive there.
Yeah, the heals. Everything
he
really
got the
coming
Pike,
through.
and then he didn't die. Yeah, I mean, waveform onto 3 heroes, got some lifesteal back, and then yeah, he turned into the Puck, which was also nice, so he could John out. And then yeah, just surviving everything, you know.
Yeah, Pike mid-fight, you can see, yeah, highlighted.
Yeah, I mean, they don't have any vessel or anything to lock down the Morphling, so they can't really kill him. And now on the roll,
on the Bombi, this time the Soulbind comes out. I don't think it's changing much here. Full Ag Scepter now on Agon to the mid Pangolier with the amplified damage rune makes very quick work of that Walrus.
Yeah, I mean, you see, this is the reason why I said that the Grim is going to be unreliable, right? Even though he has like a potential to do a lot this game with the leash and with his other spells, but it's also very hard to execute at times, you know, when the enemy can find you, can see you. Like the other heroes that I suggested, you know, the Disruptor or the Warlock, they are more stable, right? I think Warlock is probably the most stable one with this lineup, where in the team fights you get Vacuum, Fatal Bonds, and it's easy to execute. You know, with Grimstroke, it's kind of, if you don't get your spells right, then you're gonna do very little in the team fights. And
okay, some 2 initiations. Yeah, the Puck making use of that ward is going to save the Darks here from the Terrorize. That's going to be Coil for Terrorize. They're going to poke at this Morphle, who still has Aegis, by the way. Good damage, actually. And they do burst him.
Oh my god.
That was fast. Maybe Yule Scepter is going to be able to get Puck repositioned in this fight. With the boat and Torrent incoming. Witch Doctor in the middle of the fray. Quickly taken down, though, mid-Death Ward. Chucky activates the BKB.
Definitely a misplay there. I don't think he meant to turn into agility there.
I think so too, but careful here as the chase may have gone too far. The X mark actually got Fiend, away from the Puck. So Gon able to get the blink on out, but in goes Yona a second time. Soulbind onto 2. They cut the Morphling onto and the oh my goodness. Yeah, the double stun is good. The waveform through this fight. Jet Baby still alive. Can they take him down a second time becomes the question. I'm not so sure without the ultis, without the darks here. Another jump in though from this Puck. The Hurricane Pike to get out of those shards. He's going to be just a bit too tanky, but it's a Day Walker now here for our Night Stalker. Kopite not eager to continue this fight though. I mean, not half bad. They do lose 2 heroes in exchange for only the Witch Doctor and Aegis, but they defend the tier 2. Not bad.
You don't really kill the Morphling, so I think that's what they wanted the most, you know, on Kopite. I mean, I feel like late game there's very little tools, you know, to deal with the Morphling. I mean, looking at the trajectory of the game, I kind of feel like even if the Grimstroke somehow finds his axe, it's going to be very, very late, you know. And he doesn't have like the greedy enchantment on his neutral items, you know. I think that's another way of, usually the Grimstrokes getting the axe, you have the GPM enchantment, but he doesn't have it, you know. So it's going to be a long road, you know, for him to get his axe.
It is. Yeah,
I think I don't feel like he has any leeway to get even a Ghost Scepter to defend himself. You know? I think he just needs to get the axe. You know, that's the only way to win the late game team fights.
Agreed. I was gonna say, like, I think especially with this build, obviously you got to max your Inkswell, and then you kind of want to get 3 points in Phantom's Embrace for that extra attacks to destroy.
I mean, you also kind of want to have 3 points in the stroke to clear out the wave, right? Because you 3 points you can last hit the range.
Yeah. Exactly.
I mean, it's tough, he definitely didn't expect the game to go this way for him. That's why he is struggling. I mean,
Check the
of
smoke
course, you can
breakout.
still get
Nice.
the morphing illusions with the wall.
Really good positioning there for the Willow. Break the smoke. Sorry. Oh, hold on. Dark Ascension. Who they found here? It's Chucky. Chucky TPing out with the Maledict applied. He'll be nice and fine. He actually TP'd to the tower, so he's going to be
Nice
chunked
try
by this Maledict.
He tried to X-Mark him back on the morphling.
Oh, he almost died. Chucky almost died.
What? He didn't TP back to base?
He didn't TP back base. I said he TP tier 2, and that Maledict, again, it's going to persist through debuff immunity. So that was a dangerous thing for him.
Thought he wouldn't die and he could still go back and farm.
Yeah, that was brutal. I mean, the realm is what saves him, but cheeky play from him there, to be sure.
Yeah, realm is very good against Maledict. The delayed damage stops you from dying.
Seriously. Still, though, that was far too close for comfort for him. Even still, he's not going to go home. They look to press the advantage. They look to take down this tier 1 tower. And I think this one will go uncontested by IAP, who are still in a pretty healthy position in this game, right? Just under 30 minutes in. They have a 9k net worth lead. They are down 0-1 in the series. That's not reflected here in the scoreboard, but they did lose game 1. So they're a bit on the ropes here in this upper bracket match.
Do or die, Richie. They have to go forward.
Yeah. Do or lower bracket, I guess. But do or die sounds more dramatic. I like it.
Okay, fine, Richie. They have to win this game to force a tie break. Or force a third game.
Force a BO1. And then, you know what we always get in game 3 of a BO1? Cheese.
We get a bloodbath. No?
We get cheese. Cheese.
We get cheese? What type? Blue cheese?
Well, more like Huskar cheese. I don't think it tastes as good. Too spicy.
I kind of like to enjoy some grana padano. If that happens. Maybe see a cheese on game 3.
That's too bougie for me. Too bougie for me. 6 blink daggers in this game, by the way. Butterfly completed for Jet Baby. That's his newest item.
Yeah. Good luck hitting him.
Right. Okay. I mean, look, it makes
I guess you can make the argument. Okay, he didn't go BKB. There's still hope, we can lock him down with our silence stun bolt, I mean, in theory, there's still a way to kill him. Because he doesn't have shard on the morphing. They can control him with stuns. Like, you need to somehow land your Inkswell stun with the Torrent bolt somehow. It's not going to be easy. But the most reliable way, I think you start with the task, you punch, and then you land on all your other stuns, and then you kill him from full to 0. So, Carlo has to be on point with his jumps if they want to kill more.
Does that mean that they basically just have to find Morph to start these fights? Like, that's the only fight win condition you see for Kopite here?
Yeah. If they don't kill Morph, I feel like there's no way to win the team fight.
Yeah, I mean, look, fair enough. Yeah, fair enough. I guess it just feels difficult when you look at the counter initiation, right? Like a Witch Doctor, some Night Stalker with Giving Vision, with a Rolling Thunder. But I get it. You're right. They've got to kill him. They've got to kill him.
Yeah, but how? That is the question, yeah.
I mean, and they don't even have that much more of a time in here, of a window, right? Because you said, oh, no BKB. Well, that's going to change pretty soon.
Yep, you sell the recipe, you get some gold back. He's not too far. Actually, you sell your wand, not recipe.
The wand.
My bad.
Yes. I was like, recipe?
If you sell your recipe, good luck.
What is he? Is he chop shopping? Is wrong gyro,
Yeah, I wonder, can you do it on morphing? Yeah, you just copy the gyro and you get his innate and then you do it.
That'd be pretty cool, honestly. Could you imagine? It was like when Morphlings were copying Alk and getting seed money.
Oh, yeah. Infinite goal, right?
Dude, he's just sieging. He's ringing the doorbell.
No shot.
No BKB, no shard. Maybe this is an opportunity. The Wall of Replica illusion doing a bit of damage. He has morphed into strength. He is going to be silenced. Boat's coming in. Just relying on his tankiness. And that butterfly. The soul bite is perfect. The torrent. And down goes the Morphling. Oh, that was pure greed. X marks the spot. Have they actually caught this Pango? No, not quite. Does manage to
he was so
evade
close
that.
to BKB and now he has to farm another 600 gold and he fed a bunch
that
of
was
gold
crazy. No Aegis. And right before Roche respawns, it's so reckless.
No shot. That was a reckless play. That was a throw. There's nothing. There's no way you can sugarcoat that. That was just a throw. That was a bad mistake.
Yeah.
That was arrogance, you know. There's no way they kill me, guys. There's no way, you know. And then your Pango rolls in, and then he keeps quiet, you know, and then probably shouldn't have rolled in, you know, because now he's gonna blame me for soul binding him.
Yeah, it's the guys, help me. No, not like that.
From the Morphling's perspective, now he can blame the Pango.
Oh God.
You killed me.
That is the carry mentality. I mean, and we'll see what kind of a Roche timer this is. I think with the Morph respawning in 15, they should be okay.
You know what, Richie? I don't want to cut you off, but that's when Timo has to come in and lay down the rules. You know, no, you don't get to blame the Pango. It's your fault. You want to man up and you want to hit the high ground. You have to have the balls to accept responsibility. You know, when you die.
Yeah, it's fair enough. You gotta cash the check, whether it's gonna drain your bank account or you're gonna, you know, win the series. You can't have it both ways.
Is that what you always say in America? Cash the check.
Well, you know, we're still a little old-fashioned in America, right? So yeah, I'm writing checks on the daily.
Can you write me one?
But I can. No, because the problem is that they usually bounce. They're made out of rubber, you know. They're not good. They're not good. Roche has respawned. Second Roche, Aegis, and Banner here ready to go. That is going to make the sieges look a little bit more convincing. Not only that Banner, but the BKB, which is about to be delivered here to Jed Baby. So that will be a boon for them here in this upcoming Roche fight. We also have a 9-second BKB for Fiend, the Night Stalker. Full Guardian groups for the Witch Doctor. And Nullifier on Pango. Good counter here to the Darkseer in general. Roshan is roared. He's being attacked by the Radiant. They have a lot of time to finish this Roche as well. It's not that fast, though, with only the Morphling in there. So it will give Kopite a little bit of time here to contest. Torrent goes poking into the pit. Won't quite catch the Morph here. I got this position as well.
Second time when she burst the Morphling.
Night Stalker. Oh, Bombi. He's been scouted. He showed, I think, and Dark Ascension quickly will pick him off.
Oh, there's a ward on the lane. That's why they saw him.
Yeah.
I was wondering how they saw him.
Smoke up here by IAP. Kopite still looking to try and poke and take this fight a little bit longer. Chucky, he's going to get caught. Snowball saved it to avoid a bit of damage. And actually, this Night Stalker, he's on top of the puck with the Rolling Thunder. It's damn good. Puck gets up the Yule Scepter, able to reset. Jed Baby's in there. He's in pretty deep, but with the BKB, more or less immune. On top of that Butterfly, Carlo has no way out as the Dream Coil fully ignored by the BKB of Morphling. He's on to Chucky now, who has no debuff immunity. He's getting jumped now by every single hero, and there is nothing his team can do to help him. Down he goes inside of the stolen Morph shards. DCMG dying by himself underneath the tier 2 tower as Jed Baby and the rest of IAP, they pick off a beautiful fight following Bombi's pickoff.
Yeah, that is probably the nail in the coffin now with the BKB out on the Morphling. It's like he's unkillable, he's gonna kill everything, you don't have ag games on your Grimstroke, and yeah. There's like very little hope remaining, you know. You can pray that you get to your ags, but in IAP's mind, it is not going to happen because you don't have time, Kopite, to farm it.
No, I don't think so. Not at this stage here. It's going to be at least the next fight without a bottom barracks. All IAP heroes still
get
alive.
Roshan, wait for the next Dark Ascension and end the game. It's very straightforward. Oh, they're going to try to make a last Hail Mary play here. Hawk is going in. He's trying to steal it.
Oh, good effort. But once again, they find Bombi here. Roche isn't close to dead. They have no way to do anything. Bombi's bought back. They know that they've got to get something here and now. Monka's respawning here quite shortly. They have at least this outpost to TP to. Jed Baby, he is going to be forced out of the pit. Waveform's back in. BKB activated a bit early here in this fight. Paralyzing cast actually onto DCMG. That actually might have condemned him. These ice shards here, he is completely trapped, nowhere to go, and he's going to die even through the Crimson Guard buff. They focus him down. Nice job there as Gone able to avoid the terrorize. Jed Baby on point here with these stolen ice shards, or the morphed ice shards more accurately.
I mean, he's already at a point where I want to say no way, but I don't want to eat my words, but it's pretty close to uncurable. Even if he doesn't have Aegis.
they've got to mess up the BKB pretty hard, basically, not to kill him.
Yeah, and he's gonna have like full vision because of the NS, so it's gonna be very hard to mess up. Okay, the last time he messed up because he was just arrogant, right? He was cocky, but after that, I think he probably already learned his lesson, and he's very unlikely to do that one more time. You know.
I agree. You know, you gotta let them make mistakes so they know not to make them in a more high pressure situation.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be counting your lucky stars. You know, it didn't happen in a situation where you just lose the game right off it.
Ooh. This ought to be a kill down bottom then, at least onto the Switch Doctor. Will it actually? Even with the Parasma, the Switch Doctor's healing so much.
He still has his shard.
His Voodoo Switcheroo, out he goes. Yep, not too effective here into a puck, as one would expect. Throws out the cask, really making him work for it.
Richie.
Wow.
So much hard work.
Yeah, he gets him eventually. Up top lane, check this out. Willow looking to kick off a fight here onto Chucky. Chucky, who has received some nice buffs out from his squad. Be just a bit too speedy here for Morphin to catch up to, who doesn't have boots or... Oh, wow. All right,
quick
kickoff there. That's not bad. And Jet Baby,
but we can kill the supports.
he is so slow as well. He doesn't have a Manta or boots right now in the inventory, but he's got a BKB and a Daedalus, so he hits like a truck. But he also maneuvers like one. Walrus Punch is going to be out. Can they take him down? Back wall committed here. Where's the support for him? Nowhere to be found. He's forced to BKB. There's going to be the Rolling Thunder at last, as the Morphline's still alive as he morphed into the puck to be able to escape this fight. Oh, good blink away. Gone. He's going to be able to avoid the counter initiation.
Yeah, what is happening here? I mean, they should be in a position where they have full control, but they are bleeding kills. They're not together. They're not ready to make a move, even though they have Aegis on the Morphling. I mean, this is, again, sloppy, They are just giving their opponents a little bit of a glimmer of a hope, I think a moment ago, if you're Team Kopite, you're like being pretty hopeless, but now you see...
Thinking about Game 3.
Yeah, you see the light, You were thinking about Game 3 like a couple of minutes ago. Now you're like, hey, maybe. Just maybe, we still have some chances here.
There's still 2 minutes on this Aegis, so it's still a scary period of time here, but it's daytime for the next minute. There's no Dark Ascension. They feel like, hey, maybe we can actually take down this Morph. Satanic ready to go now for Chucky. Extra durable in this fight with the ACs hitting hard. And Gon, eager to kick things off here. IAP this time looking a little bit more put together here as far as their positioning goes. Looking up now, but it's going to be the Puck who kicks things off now. They're going to look for the Pango early to start this one off, and no chance to escape. Full to zero there. Walrus Punch really neutralizing him hard. Oh, they actually cut the Morphling. The Morphline's got BKB. Aegis still again for another minute, but this Willow's TP'd away. They're leaving him for Deadwinter. IAP, they want nothing to do with this Morphling. They are just completely abandoning him. He gets off another waveform. Doesn't have TP for 6 more seconds. Still has that BKB though. But he's in some trouble. That's going to be the Aegis. Aegis is down. Fiend, he's got Dark Ascension in 20 seconds, but he's kind of just watching here. He might just have to go on in. Walrus Punch into the BKB for the control. Waveform away. TP in. Fuel Scepter. The BKB didn't last long enough, and they even had the X marks for him, Winter. Being forced down to the low ground. It is just a turkey shootout here. They just beat the crap out of that Morphling.
They are really sloppy. They're not ready to make a move, They have all the items. They have their ultimates up. They're not like ready to fight, They got caught again, I mean, credit to Kopite, they were able to smoke over, place a ward. They see the Pango first, they initiate, and they took the fight. Right? But, if you are watching from IP's point of view, all you can say is that they're just not ready, for that fight. They should be really expecting, because they don't see anyone on the map. You always have to be looking and seeing and trying to talk to your teammates. Or maybe they're coming, we don't see anyone on the map. Just be ready, guys. They were clearly not ready. And yeah, sure, they have a unkillable Morphling, but he is definitely killable when he's 1v5,
Yeah. No, I mean, just totally rough the way that plays out for IAP.
Yeah, for a moment I thought he got out, when the Tusk actually punched very early, I thought they had time to BKB out.
That BKB duration down to 6 seconds means he is pretty vulnerable to these things. Again, without the Dark Ascension, without the Willow, without the Pango.
I mean, the game is definitely very different now. because you're gonna have the Aghanim's usually up on Darkseer, so he can make his own Morphling, and then once they get the Aghanims on Grimstroke, he's already halfway there, you know. I think once you get the Aghanims on the Grim, then the fights are going to be totally different, yeah. You have to kill the Grimstroke.
Rolling Thunder. Oh, they're going to catch Gon here. Getting a little bit aggressive, getting greedy for that Wisdom Shrine. Snowball save is in time, though. That's huge. BKBs are going to get a chance to get off. Trying to TP away here. Oh, he actually escapes? No way. He's going to live? That's amazing. Gon here. He's still ticking down to this Maldic a little bit, so he's unable to actually get a further blink away. Oh, they don't have another surge here for a few more seconds, but enough space is created there thanks to the Yule Scepter on the Night Stalker. Gon able to get away with it here.
This is when you buy a plate of nice and warm Bang Inasal, you know, for your Tusk. That's such a bro move, you know. BKB goes in Snowball to save him.
Yeah, looks beautiful. Looks really, really good, honestly. And Carlo, especially with this new tier 4 at this Outworld staff, he gets to make a lot of these moves, right? He gets to be super
one of my
annoying.
favorite neutrals right now. I love getting that item.
Yeah.
Like people don't expect it, you know, because it's still a relatively new thing. So people like try to kill you and then, oh wait, what? Yeah. Where did he go, you know?
Yeah, so random. And he's also gone for the quickened enchantment, right? So he's got this evasion, he's got that movement speed just to really maneuver around in these fights to make sure he's able to get anywhere. This Willow is starting to power up, though, we should say, right? She got this Dezun Blood, right? So I think her Brambles are really big now. Is that how that works? Terrorize AoE, Scythe of Ice. I mean, she is farmed.
Yeah, I'm not actually sure how it works with the Brambles. Like, does it make the Bramble go like the proc area bigger, or it's just...
Yeah, well, it says she makes a 500 AoE maze. So maybe the AoE gets spread out. Maybe it's bad, because then the Brambles are more spread. But if they're bigger, I guess it's the same.
I don't know.
Shard. As the Tormentor falls down bottom, Carlo's going to have that nice extended ice shards. But I think our next engagement's going to be around Roche here. And like you said, Winter, we have that Walrus Punch ready. We might actually get... Well, I don't know. They're not really prioritizing farm on Bombi. I'd love to see him get this Axe.
The Axe is going to be ready soon. Like, if he has to, he's just going to sell his wand. Yeah.
He should at this point. Smoke play now. IAP. They're going to go looking down bottom, where the puck is not going to play too aggressively. Very good. Good map read. In fact, rather defensively. Wait a second. How did he end up with a Roshan banner? IAP must have left that in the pit, I suppose, last time they took Roche.
There's only one way to find out. Watch the replay.
Watch the replay. The only thing that can be done. To 150 gold away from this Grimstroke, guys. Look at the positioning here. The Night Stalker opening up the fight. They found Bombi again. Oh, he's in a lot of trouble, but they actually can't finish him off. That's because the puck throwing himself in the middle of the fight. In goes Yona now, trying to at least catch someone back here, but the Rolling Thunder not very well utilized. Where's this Morphling in this fight? There he is, finally showing enough. Torrent, though, good for this kill onto the Witch Doctor. Bow supports for IAP already dead, as in goes another Rolling Thunder, thanks to the Refresher Orb, pardon me. Jet Baby gets on top of it and dismantles the Darkseer, but doesn't waveform down to the low ground. It's okay, though. He's morphed into a puck. He's got all that repositioning. However, the fight extends into phase 2 now, as this Night Stalker back into a Daywalker. Dark Ascension has ended, and Carlo, he's giving chase, trying to TP behind the trees, but he is caught. Quick snowball here. He's got this Walrus Punch ready, but it is going to be a 3-for-1 trade.
Yeah,
I am shocked, Winter, shocked they did not kill the Grimstroke to start that fight.
I mean, their coordination is really bad, you know. Being on the high ground, they should be taking that fight easily, but they couldn't kill the Grimstroke, and now Grimstroke has Aghanims. Morphling is... Well, I feel like he's gonna be killing his own team, you know, in the next fight.
Ooh, almost getting that kill back onto the puck. Oh my gosh, puck players, man, a different breed. He jumps in again with this health fuels to apply the debuffs. Now, this should be the kill. Indeed it is. Carl's going to go ahead and yoink it with the ice shards, but a very nice pick off here. That will all but guarantee Roche, who has spawned down bottom with an Aegis, with the cheese, with a Refresher shard.
Yeah, puck players, you know. In STA, we are kind of famous for that.
Bombi? Ooh. Big pick off there. He's in the river trying to set his team up for Roshan. He's gonna
He got
end
his
up-
axe. He's happy. He's chilling.
Yeah. So he can buy back, actually. He's got the money for buyback as well.
No. He's not gonna buy back.
He's not going to buy.
Not this
Well, 'cause
time.
I don't think IAP are going to force a fight here, but he does have
Yeah,
it.
but the game has truly turned around when I thought it was a nail in the coffin, at some point when Morphing just kind of destroyed everyone.
Right. I mean, Chucky's like 7 slotted already. He's got Radiance in the backpack, for Christ's sake. I mean, he takes his Aegis as well. Yeah, so Boots in the backpack. Cheese over on our Darkseer. Does have one greater healing Lotus. We got any Lotuses in pools? No block of cheese. Not very likely.
Always talking about cheeses, Mr. Richie. Early
I
in
do
the
love
morning in
cheese.
Malaysia, thinking of your cheese already.
What can I say? I'm from the Midwest, okay? We've got a lot of good cheese there. Cheese curds, cheese
Like you have a
burgers.
cheese splatter every now and then.
Yeah, charcuterie. I cheese my opponents by picking off meta picks, I cannon rush. What can I say?
I have to interview your friends, right? The group of people that play with you all the time. How your cheese picks are working out for them.
Well,
You know what they say
That's
about the
okay.
cheese picks? You are the only one having fun, not your team.
Well, I write them checks, they'll say only good things.
What about mine? You said mine doesn't work.
Well, they bounce here, they don't work over on this side of the world. I don't know what to tell you. Smoke play now. I mean, they're big, though, this team. Kopite, I think they are gearing up for one final push. You can see Chucky. I don't know if it's going to be, over an SA. We saw, like, the double Divine Rapier Whisper, kind of Kunkka. He's playing it a little bit safer. I will say that he's got a Demon Edge in the quick buy. Does he have a relic somewhere hidden? I don't think so.
It's in the Radiance.
You can disassemble
your
Radiance. That's right. That's right.
I'm
sorry,
here to remind you. So please, don't say I'm old, I'm forgetful. You're the young person.
I'm
you're
old,
forgetting.
dude. For the longest time, Radiance, always had a recipe, right? So you couldn't disassemble
Dude,
it.
that was a million years ago.
What are you talking about? That was like yesterday. It was like last week.
No, that was during the Ice Age.
Don't call me old. I don't like it. There's that
Okay,
Dark
fine.
Portrait illusion.
You can call me old. I like it.
Dude, look at
It's
this
a
Dark Portrait
sign
illusion.
of
Holy moly.
wisdom and maturity.
You need a... Look at this thing. Oh my god. Look at it. That's the hero. Just keep doing that. Jet Baby, he can't send out his Mantle illusions to push waves. He's
good
just going to
luck.
lose towers.
Good luck. Yeah, good luck basically doing that.
Yeah, seriously. Ibex
He can-
situation is overall looking very good, by the way, for both teams at the moment.
And the Dream Throw is just waiting to be a copy machine, Yeah, he's gonna get another one. He gets a tower.
There it is. Yep.
I mean, at this point, I think Jet Baby should just hide it.
Yeah. Yeah.
or maybe get a Lincoln's or something.
Or get a Lincoln's. But what does he replace then? The Scott or the
I
Manta?
mean, you don't replace anything. You just backpack. You keep the BKB
Hold on.
in and out.
What? Jonah, how have you ended up this far out? There's not even a Walrus kick. Yule Scepter's going to catch out the Night Stalker.
He's
And
in
do they have
trouble.
the damage for the Pango? He's still alive. Another jump forward. Down he goes. They will finish him off. They did get on top of Bombi, but in comes the supporting staff from Bombi's still going to die, but he buys back. They've got the outpost, so he's trying to get back into this fight. Chucky doing a phenomenal job at holding back the rest of the team. That's going to leave Fiend completely isolated here. Another Yule Scepter. He's constantly airborne as he's finished off,
Oh,
but
they
in
have
goes Jet
another
Baby.
illusion.
They have a silence. There's going to be another Dark Portrait on top of him as well, but he's morphed into this puck. He's going to get back into the high ground safely. The same cannot be said, though, of the rest of his team, as down goes the Witch Doctor.
Are you
He does
worst
not
nightmare?
have
Morphin.
buyback. They need to buy. Look at this illusion, dude. Oh, my goodness.
10 seconds, they'll have another Dark Portrait.
That's right. Dead
never
baby.
ending.
He's TP'd. He's TP'd. He's actually murdering Chucky. Oh, beautiful job there. Satanic was used. This Kunka's coming back without a BKB or Satanic, but he's got a snowball to get him off of the high ground. And a nice poke there by Gon to make sure no one else could actually interrupt this retreat. Wind Waker online for Carlo. That's crazy. He is so tanky. And Chucky, he's back up to the high ground. Satanic ready in 5 more seconds. No Night Stalker, no Witch Doctor. In they go. This Rolling Thunder trying to do as much as they can. Pretty good control overall onto 2 as the Night Stalker's bought back. He's in onto Bombi. Jet Baby, though, he's already spawned in his illusion, but he's doing good work. Down goes Carlo. Down goes Bombi for the second time. But they've lost Gan. And this illusion, look at the damage. Chucky, down he goes in the illusions. They still take down Jet Baby. Anya's just got too much damage.
Oh my god. The Darkseer and Grimstroke, they are the counters. They just copy the Morphling. When someone does a good job in their homework, just copy them.
That's true. That's true. Night Stalker did 2,400 damage to Grimstroke. Yeah, how about this? Morphling did 6,000 damage to Morphling. How about that for a stat?
So it counts as the Morphling damage?
I don't know. It doesn't show up in the
show
team.
On the other
it doesn't show up in this recap, but if you check the death summary, it says that Morphling did 6,000 damage to Morphling, or he took 6,000 damage. Which must be his own illusions. I can't imagine, it's not like he's got Satanic. Yeah, no, I know, it never works. There it is. Yeah, see, you can see he took 6,000 damage from illusions. But this is it. Megas here are at threat. This Morphling does have a buyback. Very good snowball here to pull him out of the... Oh, no, actually, good timing there. Good positioning here on the Rolling Thunder. They don't have a second, though. The Refresher's still on cooldown. Nullify is a thing of beauty as they get off another vacuum, but they take down the Darkseer. Gon still jumping around in this fight. They want to hold on to this buyback of this Morphling very badly. Will they be able to do so? Terrorize is good to interrupt Gon here for a moment. Right into... No, actually, the Curse Crown's not going to pop. Another jump in from this puck. Decent silence here onto 2. As you can see, Yona trying to focus out of this tusk, but the Wind Waker's going to bail him out. Oh my god, and this puck the entire time, just back to full HP, able to TP out to safety. So annoying, this hero, man, but IAP, they live to fight another day, Winter.
Yep,
they do
ladies and gentlemen, that is an SEA puck for you. The annoying, mischievous fairy dragon dancing, doing Pilates in front of your face, and going home. More of tangoing, I guess, not Pilates.
Yeah, not quite Pilates. Pilates is honestly pretty chill in general, but that was pretty aggressive. My goodness, did you know that we've been in this game for 54 minutes? Hasn't really felt that long. I have to admit.
Time flies when I'm with you.
I agree. And Chucky, by the way, he's disassembled the Radiance, and he has a locked relic in the inventory. So that is an emergency divine rapier at a moment's notice.
Getting ready for the right moment. One swing to rule them all or end them all.
Very true. Very true.
At the right moment. Are we going to see it? A vacuum into a divine rapier hit.
Oh,
and everyone dies.
That'd be sick.
And a dangerous proc as well.
Yeah, that would be sick. I wouldn't mind seeing that, honestly. I mean, he's critting for about 1,400 now. That'll be a one hefty swing. What's this Tidebringer Cleave talent? Oof. Yeah, he's...
Yeah, actually, I also forgot to mention, in the last fight, the Pango died to the talent from Puck. Puck had the 25 talent already. That's why I remember he got caught first, and then it seemed like he was going to escape, and then he died to the coil doing roll.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, very good point.
It's going to be very hard for the Pango to play the team fights now. Very, very difficult.
Yeah, these talents. Jet Baby also went for the strength talent at 25, which means he's got less waveforms to play with. I know, like, the cooldown talent is not as strong. It used to be like -6 seconds. That was way better on morphs. So I'm wondering if this is just normal now. But I used to see the waveform a lot.
I'm quite surprised that he didn't go for the cooldown. Yeah, because he needs to be mobile in the team fights. He needs to be able to move around. The strength, it feels like it's not going to really save him, if he's caught, say, in like the Darkseer wall, and then there's a Dark Portrait You know, so it feels like he needs the waveform cooldown more. You know, he needs to be fluid. He needs to run around in the team fights. Like the strength doesn't feel like it's gonna help him a lot if he's getting chain CC. You know.
Exactly. Well, not to mention it makes his own illusion stronger too, right?
Yeah, in a way, you could say that too.
You can't you can't Dagon the Dark Portrait illusion, right? That's the problem.
No, you can't. It's a strong illusion.
Gotta kill it. You gotta kill it the old-fashioned way. Here we go, though.
You gotta right click. You gotta work for it, Richie.
Don't go to the base. No shortcuts here. Link Tiger queued up here by Chucky. I think we're moments away from the Divine Rapier being built up. Really good initiation from Gon. He does buy his team precious moments here. But Chucky, he's actually isolated by these ice shards. Caught. He's trapped, forced to try and fight through this one. Out comes the illusions now. They're beating into this Morphling. Chucky, thanks to at least the Crimson's still alive. No, he is taken down. Oh, but the illusions. Jed Baby gets a waveform away. He's silenced. They're giving chase. Gon, does he have the damage? He is morphing into this strength. A Walrus Punch trying to take him down, trying to let the Dark Portrait illusion take him down, and it'll do so. Bombi rewarded with the double kill, but an instant buyback out from the IAP cores. It's do or die time now, as they are down 1-0. They were winning this game. One step up to the high ground with a Morphling without BKB, and all of a sudden we're here. It seems like 30 minutes later, Winter. A buyback from Chucky with the Divine Rapier now assembled. It is go time. Oh, with the shard. They got that another Dark Portrait illusion onto Jed Baby. They snap the coil, but he does actually invisible. The Glimmer Cape is going to be enough to save him. Glyph of Fortification now used to try and save these barracks a moment longer, but it's a 4 versus 5 at best. And that illusion makes very quick work here over the entire base.
The Dark Portrait has done his job.
That's the Megas. Scythe of Ice here onto the Darkseer. Throne is exposed. Darkseer looking for a normal punch. He's going to be cut off here, though, and killed. Does that buyback? Will use that immediately. Oh, no. They got him again. Another Dark Portrait illusion with the Walrus Punch on top. Jed Baby fighting through this one with the Satanic Active. It's not looking too poorly here, actually. The rest of the team is starting to suffer. Out comes at least the Witch Doctor Death Ward for some pretty good damage now. They're just tanking it. A dieback here for Carlo. He's down for a long time as the BKB from Jed Baby allows him to jump forward. I think that's the illusions that take down the Witch Doctor. And look at the work they're doing onto this Pango as well. Oh, it's just too much. Gon jumps in, finishes off the Pangolier. And now it is a 3 versus 4. Oh my God. Oh, Chucky.
He got one shot.
Just cleave through me. One shot the Willow. That's the Divine Rapier. That's what we were looking to see. A refresh here out from, who was that? The Puck? It was the Puck. No, it wasn't. Was it? It was the Morph.
Yeah, it was.
It's in his backpack.
Oh, no, it wasn't him. So it must have been him. But who else had refresher?
He's got BKB ready, he's got Satanic ready, and he's gonna need to defend here. A normal punch here. Look at the damage it's doing into the BKB. They're trying to focus down on the Darkseer, who's bopped back, but that Coil Pierce Spell immunity talent holding back the Night Stalker. His BKB's ended. He's back into a Daywalker, and Bombi's returned. Another Dark Portrait illusion spawned in. It's focusing onto the throne now, Winter. A normal punch onto the 2 of them as well. But this game, it is over. Kopite, they will win in 2. What?